Hi, I'm back. Good morning. It's morning here. Uh, it's probably not morning when you listen to this, but I literally um, didn't finish my meditation because I had these thoughts, and it just felt like recording it. Um, and then I thought maybe I'll just do it later. I keep sitting here meditating, which obviously I didn't do. Well, I was in thoughts. But then I realized it just keeps going in my head. And then I'm gonna have it all played in my head once, and I'm gonna replay it into the microphone later. And that felt a little bit off last time too. So I decided to just get up and do this, even though my voice is not warm yet, as you can maybe hear. And also my brain is not 100% online, but that's okay. I'm gonna name this episode The Plan, because what's been going on in my mind this morning were several things. But one thing is how I'm starting something, I decide to do something, and then I keep doing it. And so I'm gonna start with an example. Why I came up with this. I'm doing this 1 year lesson. I don't know how you call this thing. So it's a book and it has lessons, like short lessons for every day of the year. So you do it 1 year every day. You're supposed to read the lesson in the morning and then repeat it to yourself during the day. And I'm almost finished with the year, and so somehow I was reflecting on it and realizing that I didn't skip a day. I must have, because actually I finished a little bit more than a year. Like I should be done by now, and I still have like a week left. But consciously, I didn't skip anything. Like I even went to. I didn't have my phone with me for like 10 days, so I wrote the 10 days in advance on a piece of paper to take it with me. And sometimes people are impressed or say like, "Wow, I'm proud of you," or a word I don't really understand, but maybe that's something for another time. Or people say, "You have such like, you're so good at sticking with something," or yeah, things like that. Actually, and those are qualities I don't really see so much in myself. Like I see many areas where I don't do this, where I do something once and then drop it right away. So yeah, that's interesting. If you hear this noise in the background and are wondering, that's the washing machine. So poor timing on my side, but again, I didn't want to wait to record this, so we have to live with it. Um, so I had the same thing when I first went traveling. I had no fucking idea what I was doing, and I just went for it. And there are several people saying like, "Wow, this is, you're so like courageous," or "Yeah, I'm proud of you for doing that, for like pulling it off and not backing down and things like that." And I never saw it like that. For me, it was like that instance was that I felt so uncomfortable in my life and didn't see any way out, so I just went for something and just did it. So it was more like a running away than doing a courageous thing. And when it comes to these lessons I've been doing for this year, I'm thinking it's like I decided to do this one day. I picked up this book and was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for this year. And I think once I make this decision, there's this plan in my head. And the washing machine is really throwing me off. So I make this decision and I have a plan in my head. And somehow this plan almost becomes like a rule, and not following it would be like breaking the rule. It would be like bad. So I realized this morning that it's probably not even that healthy. Like I had a Christian upbringing, like a very strict one. So I imagine that it's this, like I make a decision, so it's almost like a promise to myself, and if I don't live up to it, if I skip a day, then it's basically like sin. Like I'm not allowed to do that. Like I feel bad, I feel guilty about it. And at the same time, I don't even feel good about doing it. This is why I said it's like the word proud is like, I'm still a bit confused about it. I had several conversations with people, but I don't feel proud for doing it. Like often the lesson actually is really helpful for me, or if it's reminding me of something. So I'm really glad I'm doing it. But I don't go to bed at night and think like, oh, today I remember to do it and I'm proud of myself. It's more like, it's like a neutral. Like if I don't do it, it's negative. But if I do it, it's like, well, you did what you're supposed to do. Yeah, so this was actually a very interesting insight. And I realized that it's like that with many things. So when I have an idea and I decide to follow up on it, in that moment basically it becomes that plan. I've been talking about this topic with some close people for a while now, or it's been coming up, and it's been coming up in my thoughts, and I'm always calling it the plan. So it could be like small things too, like something. So I have two examples in my mind right now, and the one is more typical, I guess, for autistic people. I guess that's why it's been in my mind, because I've been like this topic has been present recently. And I hope I haven't told the story in the last episode. Anyway, I don't think so. Usually I find when it comes to food, to my daily meals, I usually find something easy to make for myself, or like especially when I was living in Thailand, where it's really affordable to go eat outside, I would find a restaurant that suits me really well, that works for me, and I just go there every day. And there was a restaurant in the place I was living, which is just perfect because it's a buffet. First, it's all vegan. I was on and off vegan, but anyway, I'm always happy to have vegan food. And in this restaurant, everything is vegan. You don't have to ask for anything, any special treatment. You just can eat anything. For me, I don't have any allergies, so it's fine. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they have a buffet. So they have like 8 to 10 different foods every day that they cook in the morning. And then you can choose. Like they put some rice on your plate and you can choose. You say like, I want this, this, and this. And then they put it on your plate. And so after going there for a while, I knew which ones I like and which ones I don't like. So it's makes it easier to choose. Still, sometimes I would have trouble to choose, but it's easier. And then I would choose the food. They hand you the plate and you pay right away, which is maybe the most amazing thing about this restaurant, because you get rid of all of this, like I have to find the waiter and make a sign and ask for the bill and then give tips or not give tips and all of this bullshit. I don't want to call it bullshit. It's just things that I would rather not have in my life. I don't have it in a restaurant because I pay it right away. It's Thailand, they don't want any tips. So I give them the money. I like to have the money in the right amount. It makes me very happy. Them probably too. And then I take the food. I take the spoons or chopstick or whatever I need myself, so I can take the ones that I like. And anyway, so it's perfect. Plus, they have free water. They also have hot water for tea. And so I like to mix it to have hot water that's not boiling, but still hot water. And then when I'm done eating, I just leave. I don't have to talk to a waiter and whatever. If there's someone around, I say goodbye, and that's it. So I really love this restaurant, and at times I would go there every day. Usually in the morning or like lunch time. There was only one problem with this restaurant, which is they didn't have a set off day. They were closed like around once a week, every 10 days, something like that. And I'm pretty sure it was kind of random. I think sometimes they had some special day, and of course if there was some holiday, they also sometimes would close it a few days more. But what would usually happen is that one day I go there and there's a sign outside that says, sorry, closed today, open tomorrow. And when that would happen, that was a big problem for me. So, because I have this plan, I'm going there, I'm going to eat, and then I go to my coffee place, I get coffee, I read something, and so on. That was my plan in my head. But then I went to the place and the place is closed. And of course there are second options. Like there's other restaurants I could go to. I could also just go home and make something myself. But this, now I realize it's hard for me to express this. Like sometimes I would go to another restaurant or get something to take away, because then usually I was like, my mood to be out and see people was gone. But sometimes I would just go home and like not eat, or just eat a banana or something. Like that's really somehow overwhelming when something like that happened. Oh, the washing machine is beeping, which means it's gonna be, like, the noises are gonna be gone in a minute. Okay. So this is one example I think about sometimes, where it's like if the plan is not working out, it's really overwhelming. So even as my plan is to hitchhike to Asia, or to to read up and follow up a lesson every day for a year, which might sound like really overwhelming and big decision for other people. For me, it's like once I made this decision, like not doing it is overwhelming, because then like part of the plan that I had for the day is not followed up on. And just this morning, as I thought about this, I just realized that I think it's because it's kind of like a guilt feeling, I guess, because I feel like I didn't do the thing that I set out to do. And now I'm wondering where this is coming from, but this is something for me to think about. There was another example. Oh yes, there was more recent. So I don't know if I even have to tell this. It's very similar, but it was just at home. Like I was waking up in the morning and thinking there is some food left over, something specific that I was like, oh yeah, there's some soup left. That's perfect. I'm gonna have some soup and gonna make something else like with it, so it's a perfect breakfast. And then I got up and went to the kitchen, and there was no more soup. So somehow my memory was wrong, or someone else ate it, whatever. And then I was really confused, and there was even other leftover food, but that just didn't feel right, and then I just ended up not eating something. So, like, the plan is a weird thing. And I imagine maybe some people can really relate to that, at least to a certain degree. And then I know there are people who probably don't understand what I'm talking about, or at least don't have the same experience. And it really helped me to live with other people who don't experience that, but who are still open and understanding. And we had conversations about this, and I realized how different we are in this regard. And some people are like very different. So I think, for example, people that show signs of ADHD. I've been living with someone closely for a while, and I have to smile a little bit because some situations are almost ridiculous, but it really shows how different we are. And I think to a degree, it's also why I'm doing this, why I'm talking about these things. It seems like the washing machine is still not done. I don't understand it. It's really it's bothering me. Okay, sorry. Back to the topic. So I realized some people, there's ideas going on in their mind all the time, and sometimes they just say it out loud, even though it's just an idea. They're like, oh, it would be nice to do this. And I was living with this person who actually used exactly these words often. Oh, it would be nice to do this. And it could be something like something we could do today, or something we could eat, but it could be also something like a life plan. It would be nice to live in a van, whatever. And I realized that as soon as this is expressed, it would form into a plan in my mind, and I would already figure out in my head how to accomplish that. And then I realized at some point that it's not actually something a person really wants to do, and we have to figure out how to do it. It's just expressing like an idea. And yeah, I had to stop doing that because that turned out to be really stressful. At the same time, when I had these days of the mornings where I had a plan in my head, but it didn't work out, something changed, or there were like, I had a plan, but there was something else that needed to be accomplished, and that was conflicting. Like there was a time like I had an idea of how to do breakfast, but I also wanted to do my morning routine, and then I realized if I do both, I probably won't be ready to leave at a certain time, and then that started spiraling. And that other person was like, probably had like 5 ideas how to solve this in their head already. So they could be like, okay, just go do your stuff. I'm gonna take care of the rest. Or like, or would be like, okay, maybe just do this and this and leave this third part out. It was like very simple solutions, but I don't see them once the plan is in my head, because if I don't follow the plan, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but it feels right now. Yeah. Thinking about it is a little bit sad to think how much my life, my decisions are driven by the fear of doing something wrong. But again, given my upbringing and education, that somehow makes sense. Still a little bit sad. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a really short one. Actually, I have no idea how much time it is. But I'll leave it at that. Yeah, it's a 20 minute shorty, but it's only been a few days since I recorded the last one. And this is still an experiment. It feels kind of good to do it on the spot, like when I realize I start having these thoughts, and just going to the microphone. At the same time, I realized that like I could talk about the things that I already processed in my mind before, but now there's not a lot of new thoughts and ideas coming. So I think I'm gonna play around with this a little bit and see if this is something I can get used to and they're flowing more freely, or maybe I will just, after I have all of these thoughts, of these conversations in my head, I'm gonna express them, or actually express them out loud after having them in my head. I don't know. Considerations will be taken. And yeah, I'll try to see it as an experiment and not as something I have to do right and achieve. It's not a set plan. Yeah, that's what I decided from the beginning. I'm not gonna do this like weekly or on any schedule. I'm just gonna do it whenever it feels right. And given everything I was talking about, that probably makes a lot of sense. So I don't do this thinking I have to do it because it's a plan, but it's more free. And with that, I'll leave you. Thank you for listening to this. As always, I'm curious about your thoughts on this. I think it's very valuable to see, on one hand, how some people might relate to this, and on the other hand, to see how different we are, and finding more understanding and acceptance for people acting very differently, sometimes hard to understand and comprehend for me. So yeah, let me know what you think. Lots of love going out, and talk to you soon. Bye.